YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about a criminal record or criminal background and wanting to join an organization. I've gotten this question a couple of times from different people, and I didn't answer it at first because I wanted to know the legality behind it before I answered it. So after attending area, I got some insight, and basically these are my thoughts on if you're in that situation. Mind you, what I say is not gold. This is just something based off of my perception and what I've learned. So you can take it with a grain of salt, or you can heed my words. But I did want to leave the topic open for discussion because I do think that it is something that should be mentioned if you're interested in joining an organization. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So I've had different scenarios thrown at me, like what to do if you have a misdemeanor, what to do if you have a criminal record, like you've actually done something and it's on your record, or what to do if you've been arrested and it's not on your record but you were arrested. And then you're still a student, or even if you're not a student, if you did something while you were in undergrad and then you're trying to join a grad chapter, what do you do? From my perspective, what I've learned based off of my research, every organization is going to ask you whether you've participated in criminal activity. What the section is called varies depending on the organization that you want to join, but they will ask you if you have a background in criminal, or if you have a criminal background. Not to say that it could be something that is serious, but every organization will ask you, do you have a criminal record? To a certain extent, they'll ask that type of question. And my only response to that is to be honest. Don't try to hide anything. The chapters themselves cannot conduct a criminal background check on you. However, if you're in school, they do have a student conduct board, and if your name was ever mentioned on a student conduct board, be it mentioned by other people or the organizations themselves look into it, they can't ask for your actual record, but that type of information is going to come out. So it's best to be honest when you're doing your application. Explain what happened, be it a misdemeanor, be it a warning, be it an arrest, anything. Be honest in your application, because it will hurt you in the long run if you're not honest. That's not to say that with you being honest that they're still going to choose you, or with you being honest they're not going to choose you. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I do know that honesty is the best policy when you're looking to join an organization. You want to tell them everything that you could possibly tell them about yourselves, because they're going to look into that information. And if you don't have a background, you have nothing to worry about. Like, if you have done absolutely nothing, don't worry about it. However, if you have a criminal background and you put that on your application, they're going to ask you to explain it. And with you explaining it, that could be something as far as an incident report, a letter from the school, a letter from the conduct board, a letter from the county sheriff's office. I don't know what evidence they're going to ask you to provide. I do know that with saying yes, more paperwork will be required. And by more paperwork, that means more time is going to be required for them to look into what you've presented to them, and for them to come to a decision based off of the information that you presented to them. I can't say, like I said, I can't state whether or not you saying yes will hinder you from joining or will prevent you from joining, but it will hinder your process. It will postpone your process because they're looking at extra paperwork now. So it's best to just get it out the way, explain what happened as best to your ability, provide as much evidence as possible, because they're going to look into it. They're going to need that information right away. Some organizations are under a timeline. So if you know that you have a record, if you know that that's something that's going to come up in your application, make sure that you already have that information available. Get your printouts, get your paperwork, get your letters, get your reports, all the stuff that you think you would need, and already have that information ready, because what's going to happen when you get ready to submit your application, they're going to ask for that stuff anyways. That's more time that you have to spend collecting that information to send it off. So if you already know that you have a record, be it a misdemeanor, an arrest, a warning, whatever, get it in writing. Get your reports ready so that when you submit your application, you already have that stuff that they're going to ask for in the future. Whether or not they ask for it right then and there, or ask for it after you submit your application, it depends on the organization. I'm pretty sure they're going to want that information right away. So already have it prepared, already have it ready so that you can send it off with your application if need be, to avoid anything hindering your process in that regard. The only thing that will slow you up after that is their decision. Like, it's going to take them time to decide if they want you in the organization or not. With that being said, I can't predict what's going to happen if you tell them about your situation, if you tell them about what you were involved in. That's completely up to the organization. But the important thing is you're being honest. I think that's the most important thing to take away from it. If you're not honest, then they're not going to trust you anyways, because they're asking you things up front and you're lying about it, or you're omitting it, which is the same thing as lying. And who will want someone in an organization who lies? So that's my take on that. Did I have anything else to say about that? Someone asked, I think, if they got a warning and the warning just got around school, like possession, I guess would be something you get a warning about depending on where you are. Maybe possession or drinking or something like that. You know, stupid things that we do in college. If you do something like that and it gets around school, that's not a criminal act depending on where you are. However, if word gets around, you're probably going to just want to explain that anyways. Get it in writing. Always get everything in writing. It's called cover your behind. What was the outcome of it? What were the consequences? What did you have to do to, what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all, I studied criminal justice and I can't find my words. What did you do as a form of rehabilitation? Not rehabilitation, that's not the word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? What did you do as a result of your crime? Like, what did you have to do to give back? That type of stuff. Make sure that you have that stuff documented so that you can provide it when necessary. But those are my thoughts on what to do if you have a criminal record. What I say is not gold. This is just my opinion on it. It doesn't guarantee whether you're in or out. It's just important that you're honest about it and that you tell them what happened and why and what was the result, because it comes out, like, they're going to find this stuff out anyways. Same thing with if you're joining in grad chapter. If you did it in undergrad, they ask the same questions whether you're in undergrad or grad chapter. And if you were an adult and you had a record and it had nothing to do with you being in college, they're still going to ask you to provide further information and explain what happened and why. So make sure that you already have that information available so that when you're ready to submit your application in grad chapter, all that stuff is already there. Some people have electronic applications. Some people have paper applications. So you got to either mail it or scan it in. So whichever one is you, make sure that you already have it available so that you can avoid losing time by waiting on that stuff to come in. Make sure that you already have it. If any of you guys have ever experienced anything like this, please comment below. Let other people know what your experience was, what happened. I never had a record when I got ready to join an organization, so I never experienced that. But if anybody did and you have something to add, please put it in the comments below. If you guys found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, which you should be, make sure that you're subscribed and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss anything else from me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in our next chit chat. Bye.